The Chiefess Mourner is a short story written by Ida Rivera Ford. The story is about the death of the narrator's uncle, a poet, and the life before his death. The story shows the conflict between the poet's legal wife, Sophia, and his second wife, Esa. It ends at the funeral of the poet when it is decided to whom the body shall be given.
You shouldn't be so unhappy, because your uncle is now with the other great poets in heaven.
The narrator is the niece of the character who died in the story. She was revealed in the beginning of the scene by remembering her uncle with sorrowful emotion and was encouraged by a friend that her uncle is writing poets in heaven. If the point of view was different, it will still depend on how the story is written, because the point of views or third-person point of view is told by a narrator who is not part of the story.
My aunt used to relate that he was an extremely considerate man when he was sober, and on those occasions he always tried to make up for his past sins. She said that he had never meant to marry, knowing the kind of husband he would make, but that her beauty drove him out of his right mind. My aunt always forgave him, but one day she had more than she could bear. And when he was really drunk, she tied him to a chair with a strong rope to teach him a lesson. She never saw him drunk again, for as soon as he was able to, he walked out the door and never came back.
The plot of the story was effective because the narrator remembers her uncle. She remembers how they relate to one another because both of them are passionate about poems, as they relate to each other through cause and effect. The flashback has made the story even better because it starts and completes the story and sometimes answers the questions of the reader that is lacking to the story. In literature, a flashback is an occurrence in which a character remembers an earlier event that happened before the current point of the story.
Why are you here? I was part of his life. You don't have the authority. Do you think I deserted him? Who sold all of his jewels? Me. Who took care of him when he was ill? Me. I was there by his side all the time.
The setting was in the grave of the narrator's uncle with his legal wife and the second wife, in which it includes both of them showing two emotions, the emotion of anger towards one another and sorrow of death of the narrator's uncle. It relates to the setting in the grave, which mostly people express their sorrowful emotion because of the dearly departed loss of the people they have loved.
Soltera, a 1999 movie, is a story about a 40-year-old wedding organizer named Sandra. She falls in love with a young man named Eric, whom she met during a wedding she organized. On the other hand, Sandra's assistant, Lisa, falls in love with Eric too. It depicts the love between different ages and love between friends.
May hindi ka ba gusto? May gusto ka bang baguhin? May nagawa ba akong kasalanan?
Ate, wala.
May nagawa ka bang kasalanan sa akin? Bakit ka aalis? Tinatanong kita! Sumagot ka!
Ate, mahal ko si Eric.
Alam ko, ayoko lang umalis ka dito na hindi ka nagsasabi sa akin ng totoo.
The kind of language to script their use is Tagalog, and it is a formal Tagalog because she was asking with controlled anger. She was seeking the truth and asking her formally and not saying any curse word or any other words that show rudeness that defines street language. The protagonist's tone is very serious because it is a serious situation that involves personal affair.
Ate, patawarin mo ako.
Umalis ka na.
Ate, patawarin mo na ako.
Umalis ka na!
Ate, buong buhay kong dadalhin sa konsensya ko na sinaktan kita. At aasa pa rin ako na pagdating ng panahon. Sana ate mapatawad mo ako.
Buong buhay kong dadalin. Bakit kita ginawang parte ng buhay ko?
The concept of love that was present in the scene is friendship. It shows friendship, which means a relationship between friends, which also shows love to one another as a friend. Friendship is also one of intense vibration within our heart to fulfill the needs of both, with more emphasis on both that involved in the friendship. In this scene, the protagonist said that she was part of her life means that it was part of her that shows care, which also defines friendship. It was a love from a friend that was regretted.
Anong ginagawa mo?
Pinalis ko na yung kakompetensya ko. Pinalis ko na si Lisa.
Pero wala naman kami relasyon ni Lisa.
Siya yung mahal mo, di ba?
Pero iniwan mo ako, di ba?
Iniwan kita para mag-isip. Hindi para ipagpalit ako sa ibang babae. At kapal ang mukha mo! Ha? Umalis ka dito! Umalis ka!
The emotions involved in this scene are regret, anger, and jealousy. The protagonist first expressed jealousy, which means a mental uneasiness from suspicion or fear of rivalry or unfaithfulness. She was jealous of her assistant because of her age and the attention of love she gets. The next emotion is regret, which is expressed by her boyfriend, who he realized that he was exposed to the protagonist about the truth. Then lastly, anger, which was expressed by the protagonist to her boyfriend because of the pain and hurt she suffered from him.
The Legal Wife is a melodramatic television series with a story that shows the struggle of Monica Santiago and her loved ones. She loses the love she has for her family and gains it back because of her husband, Adrian. The conflict continues with her stepsister, Nicole, who falls in love with the same man.
Ano, masarap ba, ha? Masarap ba yung asawa ko? Masarap ba, ha? Gusto kong malaman, anong nilandi yung asawa ko? Anong muna mo tinanggal? Yung bra mo? Yung panty mo? Yung konsensya mo?
Monica, sinubukan kong pigilan ang sarili ko.
Sinubukan mo, ha? Sinubukan mo ba talaga, ha? Sana hindi mo ginawa yung ginawa mo?
The emotions involved are anger and guilt. The characters move from one emotion to the next. On the first scene, the antagonist was shameless, boastful, and rude. Then on the second scene, she was moved by her emotion and guilt and shameful of her situation. On the other hand, the protagonist in the first scene shows anger, but on the second scene, it shows rage, which means uncontrollable anger.
Gusto mo talaga ng gulo, ha? Sige, bibigay ko sa'yo. Gusto mo ng gulo, ha?
Wow, empty words, Monica. Pwede ba? Hindi ako makikipagsindakan sa'yo, kaya kung pwede lang bumalik ka na sa boring mong bahay. Baka hindi mo alam ha, boring ka. Kaya nga si Adrian naghanap ng excitement sa iba. Teka nga ha, bakit ka ba nandito? Hindi mo pa rin ba natatanggap na akin si Adrian? Akin siya! Akin si Adrian!
Walang sayo, Nicole. Akin lang ang asawa ko.
The concept of love that was present in this scene is forbidden love, a love that shouldn't happen, yet there it was. A love that is unacceptable to the society, but only the forbidden lovers can see that it is morally right. The mistress, Nicole, firmly believes that one day she and Adrian will be together with no more hiding around, after a long journey of emotional pain, emptiness, and endless waiting.
Nicole,
I just needed to see you.
saan ba si Monica?
Bakit ba laging siya? Bakit hindi na lang ako?
Nicole, please. Kinausap na kita. Mag-uumpisa ulit kami. Paglabas ko dito, aayusin namin ang lahat.
The setting was in a hospital, which relates because one of the characters is in the situation of recovery due to his physical injuries and the pain he suffered. It relates to his attitude by saying mag-uumpisa ulit kami, which means that they will make a fresh start. The antagonist relates to the setting by showing regretfulness, which means expressing her sorrow because she cannot take back her past love life. It relates to the setting because sometimes hospital is also a place of sorrow when someone is in the state of emergency or in the brink of death.
Okay. Gusto kong baguhin. May nagawa pa ako. Gusto talaga. Hindi ko masabi.
Wala. Akin siya! Akin siya! Kasi kumakawa! Akin siya, Adria! Akin siya! Where is he? This is part of his life. You don't have the authority. I deserted him. What? You shouldn't be so unhappy. Your uncle is now...
Nicole,
I just needed to see you.
sorry. Nicole, please. Ano ba yan? Ano ba?